exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
And it's my law. The Prince of Darkness. He's all gone. Former lead vocalist of Black Sabbath. And then, of course, Ozzy on his own. Certainly Randy Rhoads, one of the great guitar players of all time, left way, way, way too early. But I guess not a surprise. His health was really poor. What I find what I think is heartwarming about all of this is he was elected into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which is the biggest sham, arguably, in our country, okay? I'm talking about government and everything. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame sucks. And what they have done, they have ruined it, but they put Ozzy in individually. And I guess his celebration and nomination is still coming up. I don't think they've had it yet. I see who gets inducted. I see who's nominated, who gets inducted. I can't watch it anymore because the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, just like so many other things in life, they've just ruined it for us great folks. Nonetheless, his last concert just a couple of weeks ago, the farewell show, raised $190 million. Okay, this was at Villa Park in Birmingham, England. It was for Cure Parkinson's. It was for a variety of different children's hospitals. And when you think Ozzy Osbourne, I think you think a lot of different things. But you don't think charity. And that's what he did at the very end. So he is one of the greatest, old school Black Sabbath fans, no doubt, all the way through what he did after he was fired from Black Sabbath. And his individual work was certainly spectacular. I never watched the Osbournes on TV. I've never been a reality television fan. I just have not. But Ozzy was absolutely spectacular, man. Born in England, died in England. And, when you think of Ozzy, there's just so much uncertainty. There's just so much, did this really happen? He's in the same category as the late Frank Zappa. He's in the same category as the living Alice Cooper. Is it true? Is it false? I've interviewed Alice Cooper before a couple of times. And, does everyone pass around a cup, spinning it and drinking it? Do you rip off a chicken's head? Do you rip off a bat's head with your mouth? Do you snort urine? It just goes on and on and on and on. We don't know how much is true, how much was not true. Well, I'll remember this, though. Let's take it back to a mid-afternoon contest, Wrigley Field, Chicago, Illinois.
Sharon and Ozzy Osbourne.
All right, Chicago. I want to hear a real crazy crowd start singing with me. Are you ready? Are you ready? I can't hear you. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Let's go out to the morning. Let's go out to the river. Take me anywhere you do. I don't remember what I have to do. And I've gone out of the but if we 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Yeah, let's get some runs. Come on, don't mess around. Let's get some runs, guys.
All right, decades ago, Ozzy Osbourne live from Wrigley Field. The problem with Ozzy there, he was sober, okay? If he was under the influence of anything, it would have been a much better act. But he will be missed, no doubt about it. I mean, he was it. You look at the colorful figures in life in general, and Ozzy Osbourne would be on that list. I mean, you look at the greatest rock and roll acts of all time. Ozzy, for me, is nowhere near the top 10, probably not even in the top 20. Okay, I do rank my bands. I have the combination of Black Sabbath and Ozzy Osbourne at number 31 on my ranking, but I know that he meant so much to so many of you, and he deserves to be celebrated. He will on a lot of fronts today, all across America, certainly across the pond as well. And Ozzy Osbourne, at the age of 76, is gone. We are on the eve of Jaguars training camp. Tomorrow morning, the Miller Electric Center. No place I'd rather be. Let's soak it all in. Let's get after it. It's day one of training camp, Jaguars.com. For you, if you do not already have tickets, again, I don't know what the latest is as far as that is concerned, but that is where you go for your information at Jaguars.com. Interesting move today by the Jaguars with Maason Smith placed on the physically unable to practice list. I have no idea what is going on health-wise, excuse me, with Maason Smith. I do know that he's one of the players that I was scheduled to interview. I don't remember what day that was, so obviously that'll change. Individuals on the PUP are not do not speak to the media. That is typically the way things do work. But anyway, I would love to sit here and tell you it's this or it's that. I don't know. So I was, as surprised about this as any today when it did come down. I think the one thing that was very noticeable with Maason Smith is with all the weight loss on the defensive side of the football, and it's been very noticeable when you look at guys like Josh Hines-Allen, and I'm still surprised that Trayvon Walker's only lost 3 pounds. Maason Smith, to me, was the one guy who looked like he really did add some weight, and I hope that it was good weight. We know that a year ago, it was a rookie year for him. He learned a tremendous amount. He didn't take care of his body, which is just absolutely uncalled for at this level, because you have nutritionalists, you have people that are there that explain to you, how important nutrition is, how important food is, how important sleep is. And again, you're a rookie, you're invincible, you don't listen to anyone, and, some of the junk food he ate had an effect on him. The Jaguars are the very best. You look at the NFL PA survey, outside of rating Doug Peterson and outside rating, listening to players and things like that, which I would expect to improve immensely now with Liam Cohen. The Miller Electric Center is the best facility in sports, period. And if you've ever been inside it, I mean, it is absolutely out of this world. Their cafeteria, their kitchen is spectacular. And the amount of food and the types of food, healthy food, good food, that is there for you is, it's right there. And, plus you're getting the advice. So people got to do what they got to do. But it really felt like, and I'm still going to get down this road, that's why I hate this news, is if I was to pick for you, let's say one player on offense and one player on defense that I really think is going to take a significant step forward this year, for me, it would be a battle between Maason Smith and Eric Armstead. I still believe Armstead is a professional, was very hurt a year ago. He was invisible a year ago. He's most remembered for liking that tweet after the Trevor Lawrence concussion a year ago. I believe he's going to turn around. And he's going to have to do that. I'm interviewing Eric Armstead on Thursday. Okay. Words aren't going to be able to do it for Eric Armstead. Action is going to be able to do it. Performance. Because I know you fans, and I've heard many of you've gotten to me and you said, there's no way. I'm not accepting him. What he did was wrong. And I understand your angst, and I understand being in the moment. I also know that fans will change on a dime. If Eric Armstead goes out and makes a play, if Eric Armstead goes out and stuffs the run, if Eric Armstead provides a little bit of push in the interior and can force some pressures on the quarterback, you'll turn. You'll turn as Jags fans, but words isn't going to be the deal, right? Just like words wasn't the deal, and we'll get more of it tomorrow from Thomas Castellanos as he makes his trip to the Atlantic Coast Conference meetings. He's going to be asked time and again, why did you call out Alabama? This is a 2-10 team that sucked. Why are you coming in here after quitting at Boston College, after getting in a battle with your coach, and you come to Tallahassee and you lay that out as a guy who's never even been on the football field in God's country? His words tomorrow, meaningless. They are. The only thing that's going to snap that out of it is feel free to make a play against Alabama. Feel free to complete a couple of passes against Alabama. Feel free to break the pressure against Alabama and pick up a first down or another first down or maybe 3 or 4 first downs against Alabama with your feet. That's what's going to do it, not words. Even though typically we love words in my business. We do. But they don't apply, in my opinion, for those two. Anyway, that would be, if I was picking 2 guys, I'm going in the interior. I'm going with Eric Armstead, and I'm going with Maason Smith to have the biggest turnaround this season. Plenty of candidates, but that is where I would go. Offensively, who would that really be? Trevor Lawrence. Why don't we go right to the quarterback? Forget about a second tight end or, a fourth wide. Why don't we get right to it? Quarterback has to play better. Day 1 tomorrow. Pads will not go on for a couple of days, but we're going to get that opportunity to see things. Hopefully it is hot. You want that to be the case for the players. You want them to be in the best possible shape that they can be for that opener against Carolina. And we talked about it a night ago. This is a very important game for this franchise. Typically the first game of the year, it doesn't matter. And that's the way it is in the NFL. It's almost turning that way in college football now, where you can lose early. You look at some of those highlighted games early on that are pretty fascinating, pretty incredible. I mean, you can lose, and you can find your way back into it. You can always do that in the NFL, but I just think it's different around here with a totally new staff, a totally new atmosphere, a totally new feeling, right? I mean, here we are on the eve of camp, and it's still a 4-13 team, yet it doesn't feel like it. Am I wrong here? It doesn't feel like it. It feels good, right? It feels like, yes, there's a real possibility that you're going to be able to win the AFC South. That's the goal. That has to be the goal this year. Even if it's a 9-8 year, if it's enough to get you there with a home playoff game, to me, that is absolutely good enough in year 1. But by the way, I said this, it's going to be hot. If you are going and watching, it's not going to affect you. The Miller Electric Center, the bleachers, you're in the shade. There's fans. There's lavatories. There's concessions. I mean, there's everything. This isn't like the old school, Tom Coughlin. We won't even allow a palm tree within 2 miles of the stadium. No shade on that practice. No. This is absolutely 100% in the shade. Even the media, even us who complain in the media. I mean, we can find shade if we do want. But, hey, I'm looking forward to it. Going to be a whole heck of a lot of fun. And it does get underway tomorrow morning. All right, we're going to talk a big sofa. Damon Jones, always one of my favorite guys to cover back in the day. And saw Damon out at the Miller Electric Center very, very late during that process. I want to say it was mandatory minicamp week, and had an opportunity to catch up with Damon. Always has been, I think, very colorful with what he has had to say about the Jaguars. So I'm interested with, the things that are going on, and here on the eve, what he believes is actually going on. Also, we'll check in with Joe Cowart. Again, the Atlantic Coast Conference meetings now officially underway in Charlotte. Typically, I'm there every year. I'm not this year. these dates kind of intertwined, and I'll admit I'm happy I'm here because I absolutely want to be at Jaguars practice both Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then again on Sunday. But we'll check in with Joe Cowart live from Charlotte as well. All right, opening comments brought to you by Dr. Shmunez and Shmunez Vision. All right, we're talking way more than 30 years worth of experience for your eyes when it comes to surgery. You know what's really interesting and frankly bizarre is if you need surgery, whether it's a need or a want, what would a need be? Well, cataract surgery, refractive surgery, all sorts of surgeries. I had one 9 years ago. I didn't even know what was wrong. Dr. Neil Shmunez was like, brother, you need it and you need it now. Had it removed, never been a problem. Go back, never a problem. Wants would be laser eye surgery, 20/20 for the rest of your life. Can you imagine, though, having surgery, wanting to ask a doctor a question, and they go, no, I'm sorry about that. I'll perform the surgery. I'll see you in the operating table, but I can't talk to you. I got to see another patient. Go down the hall there, to the right, and visit our surgery counselor. What? The hell's a surgery counselor? At Shmunez Vision, you talk to the doctors who perform the surgery. They answer your questions. End of story. Shmunez Vision. Check him out online. Check him out on Instagram by going to Shmunez Vision. We are jam-packed. It is the eve of Jaguars training camp 2025, and we got it covered for you right here on the home of the Jags.
All right, Tony Baselli here. Right here on your home for Jaguars football. 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Here's Linda Beaver.
The dog days of summer are here, and so are the hottest deals of the year. Whether you're hauling down the street, cruising on the beach, or just escaping the heat, we have the ride you're looking for and the wow you experience you deserve. Save big on select models with sizzling summer savings, low financing, and limited time bonus cash on all trades. So don't sweat it. Come beat the heat at Beaver Automotive, where the summer deals will wow you.
Jeff Prosser here for Lloyd's Heating and Air. Need a leader for commercial, retail, multifamily, or hospitality projects? Or top-tier residential service? No gimmicks, no mascots, just real expertise and hard work. As your trusted statewide mechanical partner and local family-owned team, Lloyd's is the name Northeast Florida counts on. Visit LloydsHeatingandAir.com. Lloyd's Heating and Air, keeping you comfortable in every season.
Hi, I'm John Haney from Clearwater Gutters and Drainage. After heavy rains, the problems are obvious. Mulch blown out of your beds, water standing around your foundation, and that fancy new crater back behind your bushes. Let Clearwater Seamless Gutters help you solve the problem spots.
Clearwater Seamless Gutters. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at gutters. And drainage, too.
Find out more at clearwaterjacks.com.
Lauren Brooks here from Helmets and Heels. Circa Resort and Casino has two epic pro football contests, Circa Million and Circa Survivor. Circa Million, pick 5 games weekly against the spread for $1 million grand prize. Circa Survivor, 1 pick a week, no spread. Last one standing wins $15 million. Enter at any Circa in Nevada, play anywhere. Sign up for either and get 50% off a 2-night stay. Helmets and Heels will be live from Circa in Vegas on August 22nd. Full contest details at circasports.com and the 1010XL homepage.
Joint replacement surgery is always a tough decision, but relief from chronic pain may be just around the corner. Dr. George Barry here, and there's a lot to consider to make sure you get the proper diagnosis and best path back to the range of motion and mobility you had. Age, lifestyle, and overall health all play a part. Let the team at Barry Orthopedics give you a full analysis to help you make the best decision. Log on to BarryOrthopedics.com or call the office to make an appointment. With offices across Jacksonville and ready to help you feel good again, we'll get you back on the road to recovery at Barry Orthopedics.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to ITPPartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
It's the week ACC fans learn what direction your team is headed in as we get you closer to the coaches and players. Good! ACC kickoff in Charlotte. Tuned up by the Plumbers and Pipefitters Local Union 234 on 1010XL.
Football season is almost here, so before it arrives, I'm going to get my home organized. Lauren Brooks here. Closets by Design creates custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms or entertainment centers. Anywhere that needs to be organized. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off with free installation. Yes, that's 40% off plus an additional 15% off during the month of July. Call 878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Hi folks, Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Ever wonder what to do with leftover paint that you don't want? Here's a few options. Paint can be placed in the regular trash if it's dry. Simply stir in kitty litter to a thick consistency. Then wait a few days with the lid off till it dries. Also, if the paint is good, there's many charities or churches that would love to have it. If you'd like more tips or have a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting!
Josie for Preferred Roofing, reminding you your roof is more than just felt and shingles. It's a system that not only keeps your home dry, but also impacts your heating and cooling bills. Preferred Roofing and Construction is a GAF Master Elite Roofing Contractor lauded for having the ability to educate and inform homeowners on their options. Why GAF and Preferred Roofing? They're veteran-owned and operated with ties to Duval for decades. A family business ready to make sure your family has a good roof over its head. Log on, preferredroofingjax.com.
It's Christmas in July at Beard's Diamonds. Why not celebrate your anniversary with a stunning eternity band or a pair of diamond stud earrings? Buy now and get up to 40% off. Don't miss this annual event. Best prices of the year store-wide. And remember, Beard's Diamonds is your local jeweler with over 4 decades of delivering the best value, the best quality, and the best overall experience. With no commission salespeople, no corporate sales quotas, and no nonsense pricing. Beard's Diamonds at the shops at Town Center. Shop local. Shop Beard's.
If a birthday or anniversary is looming in your immediate future, take care of it today by ordering a floral arrangement online at CuneFlowers.com. You'll be the star of their day. This is Frank Frangie. Take it from me. An arrangement from Cune Flowers works like magic.
For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Oh, Ozzy Osbourne, dead at the age of 76. A tragedy, no doubt. But it's pretty unbelievable that he lived all these years. If you consider what he actually put in his body, it's pretty amazing he made it out of the 20s. But he was loved, he was adored by millions and millions. And, of course, the former lead singer of Black Sabbath, and then Ozzy on his own, Ozzy Osbourne gone at 76. All right, let's bring in one of our favorites here. Always loved covering Damon Jones, Big Sofa, when he was a member of the Jaguars, and I see him around quite a bit over there at the Miller Electric Center watching practice and there for games, and he joins Rick Ballou. Damon, always a pleasure.
Rick, what's up, man? Thanks for having me, bro.
Well, it's good to talk with you once again, and we met up a few weeks ago when camp broke down during that final mandatory mini camp day, so you know, what do you think? Everything's changed, a brand new staff, a ton of new players in. What are your thoughts here on the eve of camp?
Well, you know, it's like any other year. You know, you got a lot of trust. Obviously, everything is going to kind of hinge on number 16. You know, he's got to turn the corner. He's got to play football, better football. He's got to take care of the football, and the guys around him have got to step up and play better as well. So. Yeah. I think offensively and defensively they've got some good schemes that they've got put in, and you know got some stuff that they put in, It's just what, now it's time to put the stuff together and get the guys all on the same page.
As a former tight end and a player in the National Football League, you see things and understand things that guys like me don't, who did not play the game. When you look at the complete picture of Trevor Lawrence, where is he and where do you believe he can go?
I mean, the window, the jury's still out on Trevor. He still has a lot to learn, but he has so much potential. At this point right now, it's time to show and prove. Obviously he's had some injuries. He's had, a bunch of different coordinators. But at this point, you've got your contract. It's time to show and prove. Hopefully he's healed up from the off-season surgery and it's ready to make plays and get the ball out. He can't pat the ball and stare guys down anymore. He's got to go with the read and make the read and then just live with it. Because what happens with Trevor, what I've seen with him is he second-guesses maybe his first read or his second read, and then he's kind of stuck, and then he makes maybe just a bonehead kind of throw sometimes, and they're like, why are you making these throws? And he makes great throws. So he's got up and down, so he's just got to get steady, and then he's got to kind of just take off like a plane and take off and even out and start playing very well consistently.
Damon Jones, our guest, former Jaguars tight end. He does join Rick Ballou. Again, camp opens tomorrow morning at the Miller Electric Center. It's fascinating to me that, I felt like Doug Peterson checked out. I felt like Press Taylor wasn't the guy. I felt like the relationship fell apart. What do you believe there, Damon? Now here comes Liam Cohen. He's been magnificent, what he was able to do, including last year in Tampa. Can a new voice, can new coaching turn Trevor Lawrence around, in your opinion?
Well, I mean, I think it's not only just Trevor. I mean, we did, we were still in the top of the league when drops, with our receivers. So we can't ignore that. So I don't want to, I'm not here to, browbeat Trevor and put everything on Trevor. I think that when you look at Trevor, he's had a tough run. I mean, you look at Urban Meyer's situation, that's kind of a wash, right? Then you bring in Doug Peterson. Doug, I do think he was trying to push Press into a position. I don't believe Press was ready because I looked at I'm watching the game, and I haven't studied the Jaguars' offense as far as what they're going to do. But if I can decipher what they're planning on doing, just watching it, I know the defensive coordinators that have studied these guys for a week or weeks and a half, they're put in time. They know what's coming. So now we got to have some creativity. I think Liam brings that. I think when you put in a Travis Hunter, the best, draft pick that I think the Jaguars have probably had, maybe in history, depending on how he plays on the field. But, a guy like that can make some special plays, and young guys that can make it can be a special thing, but it's not all going to be on Trevor. It's going to be everybody doing their job, and that's what's got to be the focus. I really think with Jacksonville, I think that's what Liam is going to try and bring as well, is bring not just one guy is going to do it. Travis isn't going to do it. Trevor's not going to do it. Josh Allen Hines isn't going to do it. Nobody's going to do it by themselves. They're going to do it together collectively, and that's where they're going to have to work together in training camp to build that togetherness right now.
Obviously, the effort is there. 6 new offensive linemen, 2 new wide receivers, 2 new tight ends, 2 new rookie running backs. I know it's really hard to gauge, Damon, when pads are not on, but just observing things, did you see anything perhaps that surprised you or maybe you liked?
I just like the way that the ball is being moved around. When you look at, and I used to tease people about this, after Jimmy Smith left the Jaguars, is who did, the Jaguars have on third down to double team? Well, right, the Jaguars are, kind of go into the same situation this year. Who would you double team on third down? So that kind of opens up things for Trevor where anybody can make a play. You know what I mean? So that helps them be more creative where you can't key in on one guy and say, okay, we got to stop this guy. Christian Kirk might have been the guy before, but he's gone, obviously. So now we got a bunch of guys that are trying to make a name for themselves, and they want to make plays. They're young guys. So it's going to be interesting to watch how the football is distributed and how, when those guys get the ball, what they can do with it.
What do you think is going to be able to work here for Travis Hunter? We know primarily he's going to be on the offense. What do you think about him being able to go both ways?
I mean, he's done it his whole life. I mean, I don't think the Jaguars. I mean, I told somebody this. We were talking. You don't move up to draft Travis unless you're going to let him play both ways. He's done it his whole life. You find packages and you find ways to get him in the game to where he can make plays. He's a special kind of player. He's a Heisman Trophy winner. So he's a playmaker. So having him on the field, the more you can have him on the field, the more chance it increases for the Jaguars to have plays in their favor. So I think that's going to be a good thing. I'm just interested to see how he handles the recovery with the NFL. Obviously, it's different than college. It's, playing a little bit more physical guys, more physical game. So his recovery, how he handles that, that'll be the key. And I believe he has a good team around him. He's done it. I believe that he'll have, the Jaguars are going to do everything that they can to support him in that and get him, the recovery that he needs. And if he can handle that recovery, I believe it'll be fun to watch because we haven't seen it done in our time.
Last one for you, Damon. Are you amazed by the way everything has changed in the NFL? I mean, when you were playing here, Tom Coughlin was the only voice. Now you got a 34-year-old GM, a 39-year-old head coach, a 29-year-old offensive coordinator, the greatest player arguably in franchise history, overseeing everything in Tony Baselli. A lot of voices and kind of this feeling, Damien, that you have to be friends now with the players. You need to know what's going on with their lives and support everything. What's your thought on this changing way of the NFL?
Well, it's definitely a different NFL. It's obviously changed in the structure of how they, allow guys to play with the hits and things of that nature. But also just the way the guys have come up, it's changed as far as the training camps. They can't do the 2-a-days like we did and the long stretches of those. They get out a lot earlier than we did. But, it's also saving the game, I believe. It's giving those guys longer careers where they can play the game longer, where you can get to see guys of great magnitude play for a longer time. So it keeps the fans engaged possibly. But, it's definitely different than when I played. I give my mom a hard time if she had me a little bit too early. Because if I play, I don't know if I would have got the big sofa name with the NFL that they have now because they get so many breaks and so many off time.
Yeah.
I would have been all right.
Well said. Damon Jones, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Damon, always a pleasure. I'll see you out there at the Miller Electric Center.
Thanks for having me, Rick. Thanks for having me, man. You guys have a good time.
There he goes. Damon Jones. Big sofa. Always a very colorful guy. And, he was a lot of fun to cover back in the day. But I can only imagine it for a guy like him, seeing what's going on today. And, that's not just here. That's everywhere. It is. You have to coddle today's athlete. You have to pamper today's athlete. I'm going to be very interested in old school. How many are able to do that around the league? How many old school head coaches are there? All right, Mike Vrabel in New England. Bill Belichick's in North Carolina. Who else?
Mike Tomlin.
Yeah. I'll give you that. I think Tomlin, though, is tougher with the media than he is with his own players.
I agree with that.
But we just and frankly, I miss it a little bit. I do. I miss the hard-ass old school coaches, but they're gone. And it's very rare that if you're that way as a position coach, because as a position coach or a coordinator, your ultimate goal is to become a head coach. And, that is part of, again, just go back to the NFL Players Association survey that comes out every year. These guys want to be able to express their concerns. Express their concerns and have the coach listen to them. Can you imagine trying to go up to Tom Coughlin in the day and saying something that Tom didn't? I mean, that was clearly I'm the leader, okay? I'm the coach. You're the player. It's not that way anymore. It's not. And we're even seeing NFL coaches get fired because of NFL players. There was a time where that only did happen in the NBA. All right, tonight's show brought to you by Alexander Law. And, the gold standard has been reached at Alexander Law by Rick Alexander, who's been rated AV since 2004 by Martindale-Hubbell. It is the gold standard for any lawyer. Less than 10% actually receive this rating. It does come from the peer review ratings. Okay, he's a former prosecutor. He's been representing those injured in automobile crashes, and people have been hurt because of carelessness with other drivers. If you are in this situation right now, if you have been injured in an accident, particularly a car accident, and you don't have anywhere to turn to, you tried a big law firm that didn't get back to you, that's the first thing that's going to happen. You're going to get an immediate return. You're going to get someone who is going to be able to point you in the right direction. Listen to what your problem is. Then they're going to be very creative with your case. And you're going to get the individualized attention that you deserve. If this is what is happening to you, make the phone call. It's a free call, okay? And as well, you can get everything online by going to Alexander Law Practice. The phone number is 400-6600. That's 400-6600. Or go to alexanderlawpractice.com. Your reaction to Damon Jones, give it to us. 641-1010, text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. You can also join us on YouTube. Just go to 1010XL into the night. All right, our second hour for the most part is going to be non-stop Jaguars, right? No doubt. Let's bring in Joe Cowart. Let's do that on the other side. He's taking in the Atlantic Coast Conference kickoff meetings. Miami spoke today. He had a conversation with Carson Beck. Also, the Atlantic Coast Conference Commissioner, Jim Phillips, spoke about college football in general today. Let's get the very latest. Joe Cowart joins Rick Ballou.
Helmets and Heels calls on Jags former middle linebacker Tom McManus to elevate your afternoon.
He's the best. Guys got it all.
Join the new Helmets and Heels afternoons from 2 to 4 on 1010XL.
We're professionals. We have a job to do, a season to plan.
Big number one Duval Ford is trusted by Duval families, Duval businesses, and law enforcement across Florida. We're Jacksonville's largest Ford dealer by new Ford sales with the biggest service facility to keep everything in your driveway and in your fleet on the road. Shop Big number one Duval Ford on Cassett Avenue for our low prices and nationally recognized service-first experience. Big number one Duval Ford, proudly serving North Florida since 1916.
Right now, they're on their way to disrupt your life, make you uncomfortable, and rob you. Don't bother calling the police. They can't help. That's right. Summer heat and humidity are about to attack North Florida again. You know what to do. Call Mike Merritt. Mike Merritt's Heating and Air has a license to chill. When heat and humidity are attacking you, Mike Merritt provides a comfortable chill at a bargain price. Mike has been keeping North Florida comfortable for 30 years. Mike Merritt technicians are never paid commissions, meaning you'll never be pressured to buy something you don't need. And Mike Merritt knows cooling issues can arise anytime. They don't just happen during business hours. So Mike Merritt never charges overtime fees. When you need us, we're here for you. Remember, in the fight against heat and humidity, Mike Merritt has a license to chill. Visit merrittair.com. Florida license number CACO 50384.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. As temperatures warm up around us, ants come out in droves. And when they move into your home or business, it's unnerving. Terminix knows that ants add up fast, but Terminix subtracts them faster because living with ants isn't any fun. When ants show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with an ant problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com.
Tired of high energy bills? Well, replace those inefficient windows and patio doors now. Don't miss Renewal by Anderson's summer sale. Buy 4 windows or doors and get the 5th one free.
No money down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months, but this offer expires July 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Brackish Vodka, the spirit of the sportsman and proud partner of the Jaguars, is poured at Southern Coast Seafood, now open Mondays. Enjoy craft for $12.99 a pound on Tuesdays. Drink Brackish Wednesdays with $1 oyster on the half shell. Brackish Vodka is the first clean craft vodka made right here in Jacksonville for whatever your sport is. If your sport is crab at Southern Coast, your vodka is Brackish. Southern Coast Seafood, now open Mondays. Brackish Vodka, proud partner of the Jaguars.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On July 22nd, 2020, the Orlando Magic take on the LA Clippers in the first 4 scrimmage games at the Walt Disney World campus as part of the NBA season restart.
Jax is more than a city, beaches, suburbs, or a destination. We're a community that takes care of each other. I'm former Jaguar Tom McManus. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling is dedicated to serving you with respect and integrity. We haul construction debris or property cleanouts for managers, owners, and realtors. We do it all. Call 506-1256 for your free estimate today. We're here for you. We're veteran-owned and operated. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling.
Right now, you may be running a little late, or feeling stressed, or overwhelmed, and you may be going a bit over the speed limit. So to help you relax, exhale. Ease up on the gas. You'll get there when you get there. Take a moment to just chill. This little break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
Hey, poker fans, summer's heating up at Best Bet with the Summer Swing Tournament Series this August. There's 3 events, 3 locations, Orange Park, St. Augustine, and Jacksonville, and $550,000 in guarantees. It runs August 14th through September 1st with buy-ins from $200 to $1,000. There's something for everyone. Get in the game and swing into summer at Best Bet. For schedules and satellites, visit bestbetjax.com. That's bestbetjax.com.
San Jose Collision in Mandarin is proud to be an I-CAR Gold Class collision repair facility. That means they meet the industry's highest training standards. Experience the difference at San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
It's all about the lyrics, people. Ozzy Osbourne was so much to so many, but he was a great lyricist as well. Charlotte, North Carolina. No place I'd rather be outside of the Miller Electric Center, where the Jaguars will kick off training camp. That'll be tomorrow morning. Of course, Joe Cowart, you hear each and every day from noon to 2. Right here on your home of the Jags. Sadly, I'm not with you out there, Joe. I know it's something we've done for, 10, 15 years? I don't know.
Yeah, we had a great run, and I don't know which one of us was the other man's wingman, but we need both of us. It's the only way
We should roll.
Yeah, that one time, what happened? A couple of boxes fell out, and I had to become A.J. Foyt to somehow avoid an 18-wheel. I don't know what happened. I think we were in Rock Hill, South Carolina.
Yeah, I do remember that. There was some serious traffic from Rock Hill coming into Charlotte, and yeah, it was nuts. And you had to navigate some serious challenges on the Carolina interstate.
Yeah, it's amazing because I had one hand on my cell phone, and I was figuring out what was going on, what I was going to wear that night. And then somehow I just made it. But anyway, I love the event. You've been going forever. We did, you did Pinehurst for a while. I did Pinehurst for a couple of years, and now they've been in Charlotte for more than a decade. So just overall, what was the environment like today, day one?
Yeah, it's funny because you're trying to kind of zero in on who's who, and I don't think we would have said SMU is a player for a title last year, but now they're obviously established. They won the AAC a season or 2 seasons ago, played for the ACC this past year. So obviously they're getting a little more attention. The recognition is there for Rhett Lashley. We know how good a coach he is, Rick. Dude can draw it up. And he's also gotten plenty of support from those rich, I guess you can call them big oil, but they definitely have gotten some money poured into that football program and facilities from the SMU faithful. And so anyway, they are good. They're established. Kevin Jennings comes back as their quarterback. And then Carson Beck, you'd have to say, was the talk of the first day of ACC kickoff talk because everyone, when Mario Cristobal said he's full go, boom, that's the rest is history. And we had a great conversation with Carson because Beck basically feels like he's back to where he needed to be health-wise. And we'll see what he looks like. Yeah,
I know you sat down with Carson Beck, who of course is from right here and had a very nice career at Georgia, but has now moved over to the University of Miami. It came out that he was wanted back in Athens, but he elected to move on off to the U.
Yeah, I had to ask him the question too because, and I think it's worthy of replay. The soundbite where he basically said, "Hey, I spent 5 years at that," because I basically set it up. I'm like, bro, as soon as you went down with an injury, it was all Gunner all the time from the Georgia faithful. They're like, good riddance, Beck. Here comes Gunner, and we're going to be just fine. Well, obviously they weren't. They couldn't create any more offense against a good Notre Dame defense, and they lost. And so he's like, that fans are going to be fans, and I'm paraphrasing, but still, you could tell it got him a little bit. And, yeah, Kirby wanted to try and get him back. I don't know numbers-wise. You and I try and peel back the curtain a little bit with the quarterback whisperer, trying to figure out how much money might have been laid out there in NIL cash, but there was enough for him to go south and go play for Miami. And the way that offense sets up, it sets up beautifully for him, at least in my opinion. I think they're going to throw it around just like they did last year with Cam Ward.
Day one of the Atlantic Coast Conference football meetings today, the U and deep out west, Cal, Stanford, SMU, of course, out of Dallas, and Virginia did represent. Tomorrow, that'll change significantly with Florida State coming in, Georgia Tech, Louisville, Pitt, Syracuse, and Wake Forest. Joe Cowart live from Charlotte. Okay, so, Miami and the voting, whether it's in or not, the results are not out. I kind of envision, Joe, Miami number 2 in the conference, behind Clemson. I think that's where the majority of the people are going to go. What else came out today, whether it was from Mario Cristobal or I know the transfer portals worked for the U really well the last couple of years. Most notably this year, their secondary is really dominated by transfers.
Yeah, 3-horse race, I think, is what most people would say. There's got to be some other team that can pop up that might be able to do something. We'll see who that is. But right now, 2 of the 3 were here today. Clemson will be here on Thursday. And then we don't know what it's going to look like up in Tallahassee yet. Everyone's just wondering and waiting and whatnot. I don't think you can put stock in on the Seminoles just yet. But anyway, we'll talk to Mike Norvell tomorrow about that. But the other thing is that the confidence that Mario has in his defensive coordinator change. And he believes and his players believe. We talked to a big defensive lineman and Akeem Mesidor and then Wesley Basaint, one of the guys on the back end. And they are talented and hungry and so on and so forth. And they basically said, hey, their side of the ball let them down last year. And so they're bringing in a defensive coordinator, attacking, aggressive, all that stuff. We always hear that, right, whenever there's a coordinator change.
Oh, yeah.
But they definitely need that type of performance on that side of the ball. Otherwise, they're letting the U and Canes fans down because they're going to score points. Mario said it to me and to Leon earlier. He said, look, sometimes you got to win 45-30, which I totally get. But you can't lose 45-30, and I think that's what they're looking at more than anything else.
Atlantic Coast Conference Commissioner Jim Phillips spoke today. Typically when he does, Joe, it's always a great time to grab a couple of winks because he never says a word, unlike Sankey and everyone else who have let us know exactly what type of model they think is best for the future of the college football playoff. Jim Phillips today was restrained. He did not have an opinion on one of these models.
Yeah, I took the blue page and took it off, and the only thing that came out is they're going to basically start to employ the injury reports, which is another thing that Sankey and the SEC were first to do. And yeah, non-committal, not combative, but just basically not dipping his toe in the water to cause any more controversy. They want a 5-11 playoff format, at least I believe they do, and we'll find out where that goes. At least two of the three coaches we talked to today wants that 5-11 format. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he's not saying anything right now. He knows that at the very least they need to hang on. If they could work out a model where it's 4-4-2-2-1, and there's two from the ACC that are guaranteed, he'd be more than happy about that. But I think he realizes that 5-11 probably has a little more momentum right now.
All right, Joe, set the scene. We know Florida State in tomorrow, but what are you looking ahead for as far as Wednesday?
Yeah, they're going to be the ones. Okay, what does Tommy Castellanos have to say? Richie Leonard IV, who comes from Gainesville over to Tallahassee, Earl Little, a really talented player. What can they do to revive defense and, for that matter, offense with Gus Malzahn now running that side of the ball? And Mike Norvell just basically have to pronounce that, hey, there was change because change was needed, and there's no hot seat talk or anything like that. You know he's going to try and diffuse that. But they got to win some ball games. You know that. You're a Seminole faithful. Everybody else out there, we talked to Ira Chaffel and Jeff Cameron from up there in Tallahassee, and the bottom line is show me, okay? You were impressive. You did have an 11-0 season before Jordan Travis went down, and then the Seminoles went down. And so who are you? What are you about? Jake Dickert, we'll say hello to him from Wake Forest, first-year head coach up there with the Demon Deacons. I mentioned Devon Patterson, who's from Jacksonville, who played with them. And then we'll have a couple of other guys that'll be on tomorrow, and then Clemson will be the showcase team on Thursday for sure.
No doubt. All right, Joe. They still got that pig roast going?
Listen, I'm telling you, I'm about to walk into the public house, and I'm going to have to sample the hors d'oeuvres and give you an idea. But no pig in sight right now. Apparently, PETA got a hold of them, and they took away our pig.
That was tradition at the ACC. So like everything else, it just ends up going away. All right, make sure you get Joe Cowart tomorrow, noon until 2. He will be live from Charlotte, North Carolina. That is the site of the ACC football meetings. Joe, always a pleasure. I'll talk with you soon. Thank you.
All right, brother, man. We'll see you Friday at training camp.
There he goes, Joe Cowart. Ladies and gentlemen, good stuff. And, you can't be two places at one time. If you can, all the power to you. I like going to the ACC meetings. I really do. But it does not compare to what is getting ready to be unhatched tomorrow morning. That is training camp edition, number 1, Miller Electric Center, the Jacksonville Jaguars. There's nothing better. There is absolutely nothing better, in my opinion. And I know I'm one of the very few who actually enjoys the off-season OTAs, mini camps, training camps, more than the actual game, okay, the week of the game. I do. And I just think there's so much to look at, so much to analyze. It could happen this way. It could happen that way. Once we get into the regular season, it's simple. It's defined by W's or L's, and there's no looking back. But we got plenty to do, no question about that. Let's get ready for our second hour. Okay, in this hour, we've had 2 interviews. Big Sofa, Damon Jones, former Jaguars tight end, and you just heard from my colleague Joe Cowart. Let's get you involved. 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Welcome those watching on YouTube, 1010XL into the night. You can also get me on Twitter or X. Just go to Ballou 1010XL.
I remember being in the backyard, getting the football and throwing it up and running and go catch it. And then I'd be like for the crowd, and like, that's what I wanted to do. And I got an opportunity to do it.
1010XL.
This is what you dream of.
I'm Frank Frangie, and I told you before, my daughter Amber is following the lead of Hacker and Mike and Matt and trying to lose a few pounds with Awaken 180. Well, I got to tell you, she's been amazed at the results. Now get this. She's been in the program 3.5 weeks. She's lost 22.5 pounds. 22. It's hard to believe, and she is so excited. There's nothing better than seeing your kid excited. She said it's so convenient. She raves about her coach, who she speaks with once a week. She said the food's terrific, and she's never hungry. Man, she's found a program that really works, and boy, is she excited. If you want to give it a try, call 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800, or visit awaken180weightloss.com. It's changing my daughter's life. It really is, and it can change yours as well. 844-346-1800 or awaken180weightloss.com. If you're looking for a transformation, now's the time to call Awaken 180.
Bueller.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, buddy. Why so glum?
Stinky ice cubes, Jason. It's all downhill from here.
What?
The tap water at my place smells kind of funky. Funky tap water makes funky ice cubes. I meet a nice girl, invite her back to my place for a cocktail, and blow my whole romantic gesture with a mojito that smells like dog's feet.
Wait, I can totally make you way cooler.
I'm not taking your charity ice cubes, Jason. I have my pride.
Your pride is safe. Our plumbers can be at your house the day you call and install a whole home water purification system. Water tastes better, dishes come out cleaner, even your hair feels better after you shower.
Ooh, the ladies love a man with soft hair, don't they, Jason?
Life moves pretty fast. If you spend every day worried about the water in your own home, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
It's Mike Dempsey, and now's the time to get your roof hurricane ready with Apex Roofing and Contracting of Jacks Beach. Look, our rainy season is no joke, and if your roof's got damage, leaks, or it's just plain worn out, don't wait. Apex is local, dependable, and will show up on time using only premium materials with ironclad warranties. No shortcuts, no stress, just quality work you can trust. Skip the storm season scramble. Reach for the peak with Apex Roofing and Contracting in Jacks Beach, or visit apexroofingfl.com.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
As a Florida homeowner, you're no stranger to mosquito problems. And although it's tempting to use DIY methods to get rid of them, mosquitoes are relentless. That's why it's important to enlist the help of the mosquito experts at Florida Pest Control. At Florida Pest Control, we offer specialized treatment solutions that are effective against mosquito infestations and are committed to keeping our customers protected year-round. For your free quote, give us a call or visit flapest.com today. Florida Pest Control, your local mosquito control experts.
Hey, Hicken here. Tired of glasses or contacts? Discover customized vision solutions at Bowden Eye & Associates. Dr. Bowden's team offers cutting-edge options like Evo implantable Collamer lenses or refractive lens exchange and classic LASIK, designed to fit your life. Picture perfect vision for reading, driving, or just enjoying the day. It's easier than you think. Call now for your free screening. Bowden Eye & Associates, they're keeping the First Coast focused.
If life blindsided you tomorrow, would your family struggle? I'm Cody with Harborstone Financial, and I can help. One call could protect your family for life. 904-885-9566. Harborstone Financial.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
David Lane here, and once again, I'm happy to share news of my success with back and knee surgeries at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist. Whatever it is that's bothering you, take it from me. Simply set an appointment today at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist and let them help you get back to normal life. I'm certainly glad I did.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, nonstop Ozzy. He was left us at the age of 76. Pretty incredible life. Things he was able to do. Quinny, you just sent me a pic from his concert here in 1984.
It was a newscast, yeah. When he came with him and Motley Crue, the old Coliseum.
Absolutely crazy. You see the Motley Crue movie? I think it was called Dirt or something.
I've not.
Oh, it's awesome. And there's an Ozzy scene at the pool that, again, we don't know if it's legend or is it legit. We just don't know the answer to that question, but he is gone today at 76. Been a rough year. Lost a lot of people. Seems like it's almost happening weekly where there's a major celebrity who is gone. The big news is Maason Smith, PUP-less, placed on that today, physically unable to perform, so he will not be participating tomorrow at the Miller Electric Center for day one of training camp. To me, that is a big-time blow. I mean, he's one of the storylines are endless for the Jaguars, but if you begin writing about Maason Smith, you almost have to stop for a second because he could go in so many different directions. Agreed? I mean, he could be the best of the best, whereas I said I'm looking at him as having the biggest turnaround defensively on this team. I'm going to put Eric Armstead there. And, for Eric Armstead, regardless of what he does, this is it. This is his final year. Can you get 17 games? Can you get the playoffs? Hopefully. Can you get that out of Eric Armstead? Then he's gone, right? Maason Smith is in year 2. He's still part of this development phase. He had a lot of encouraging things to say about what he believed this scheme is going to be under Anthony Campanelli. He talked a lot about freedom and the ability to move around the line of scrimmage. I'm paraphrasing here. This is not a quote. But it felt good. And, when you see something like this, and I have no idea what happened. I don't know if it's an injury-related situation. That would be my guess. But I don't know. And eventually we'll find out. But as of right now, I do not know what has happened. But this is a guy who admitted that he didn't take care of himself as a rookie. He didn't eat the right way. How you can't eat the right way when you're getting free food, right? Really good food. And, that was a rookie mistake. But that has been documented and it has been discussed. Now we get ready for, him to take off this year, and this happens on the eve. Last year, a lot of guys, Eric Armstead was on the PUP last year. There were other guys who couldn't go, right? Darnell Savage, Gabe Davis. Feels like, all of Bulky's free agents came in somewhat hindered or on the shelf. As far as I know, this will, basically, for the most part, out of the expected 53, the only guy not able to go tomorrow morning. We shall see. I tell you what else is very intriguing. You know, I'm going to make this point because it gets to the Jags, but Jerry Jones is so many things, right? And I think Jerry is in one of those deals where there's really no in-between. You love him or you really don't like him. I've always admired Jerry Jones. I've always loved listening to Jerry Jones. But what in the heck did he do during opening day of training camp? He calls out Micah Parsons, who is sitting on this contract, right? I mean, you're going to have to pay him. We've witnessed over the last week, TJ Watt, 3 years, $123 million. That is freaking scary. 123 for an edge. During the offseason, Myles Garrett got 4 years, $160 million for Myles Garrett, who I think is the best defensive player in the NFL now that Aaron Donald's been gone for a little bit. Trey Hendrickson, a no-show today in Cincinnati. You're going to have to pay him. I'm going to be really interested in those numbers when it's all said and done. And then you've got, Aiden Hutchinson, who is right there with Trayvon Walker. What are they going to pay Hutchinson in Detroit? And, of course, we're all sitting here waiting on Micah Parsons. But Jerry Jones, and I don't have the quotes in front of me. I'm just, again, basically telling you what he said. He called out Micah Parsons for saying, the contract is there. I don't know what happened. I haven't heard from his lawyer. But we're paying a guy who missed 6 games a year ago. And it's like, no. I mean, you're the general manager. You're the owner of the organization. How can you not know that he only missed 4 games a year ago? So, I mean, again, we're not talking about some lush who's had 16 Pabst Blue Ribbons and is saying that he missed 6 games when it was 4. We're talking about the owner, and we're talking about the general manager. You would think you would know about your best player. Got that wrong. Then he calls out Dak Prescott. He said, we paid the highest paid player in the NFL. We gave him that money. And he went on to miss 3/4 of the year. I've never, Herb Brooks, maybe, played by Kurt Russell in Miracle on Ice. And I don't know how much of that is embellished, right? I mean, those things are based on a true story, especially when you have locker room scenarios. But you remember that when they're training for the gold and, a guy's got a bum knee and Russell calls him out about not being go read Lou Holtz. Read his book, Under the Tarnished Dome. I played golf. It was with Greg Huntington, and it was a former NFL, longtime Notre Dame, want to say a first-round pick, had a nice career in the NFL. He said he didn't hear from Lou Holtz his entire final year because they disagreed on something. But you look at that book, Lou Holtz would not talk to you if you were injured. And again, that was then. We're talking the late 80s and what have you. So there have been those type of examples. Again, I mentioned Herb Brooks, hockey related. But come on. What's Jerry Jones trying to do? Motivate Micah Parsons? Motivate Dak Prescott by challenging them in the media for getting hurt? Very rarely have I ever seen something like this. But what it gets to is Trayvon. There you have it. Where's Trayvon Walker right now? Where's Trayvon Walker going to be when it's all said and done? When do you pay him? Do you let him cruise this year through? I would. I would give him another year. Brand new season under a totally different defensive scheme. If he outplays it and gets so much better, guess what? You got to pay him. He's not going to take a hometown discount. I think when you get to players like this, you have to be real, okay? Does he deserve Micah Parsons' money? No. Does he deserve TJ Watt money? No. Does he deserve Myles Garrett money? No. Does he deserve Aiden Hutchinson money when that deal gets done in Detroit, whether it gets done now or in a year, whatever it is? No, he doesn't. But that's not the way the negotiations work. That's not the way his agency is going to work. The feeling in the building, in the Miller Electric Center, they love Trayvon Walker. He is among the most liked players on this football team, and they believe his potential is off the chart. I think if you look at his career so far with Mike Caldwell, and with Ryan Nielsen, you can make the case with Trayvon Walker that maybe he hasn't been used the way that people envisioned that he would be used. Or maybe the better way to say it would, there's so many different things that they could do with Trayvon Walker, and they're not. Is that fair? I mean, we've heard forever about him sliding inside like Calais did in obvious pass situations and having another rush edge outside of Josh Hines Allen. I don't know. Is that going to be Emmanuel Ogbah? Is that going to be the return of DeJuan Smoot? Is there a young gun that could, turn some heads? Only time will tell. But you look at these edge guys. It's so routinely said about quarterbacks. You better pay him now because if not, you're going to pay him much more down the road. Again, I'll have to redo the Trevor situation for you. My opinion has been out there for a couple of years. I hope I'm wrong. I hope Trevor lives up to the deal and takes this team consistently to the playoffs. Trayvon Walker is a major mystery to me, though. What are you going to pay him? I mean, what? 3 years, $123 million. What do you pay Trayvon Walker on a 3-year deal? What's the asking price? And, we're going to get a little bit more of this when we see the Hendrickson deal finally get done. And we had a couple of other deals that were done while I was gone, but I think they pale in comparison to what Trayvon Walker is going to end up making. I mean, this guy's going to be in the $30+ million deal a year. Let me look up real quick what Josh Hines Allen made, and compare that. But you got to look at the timing. I mean, that is going to be minuscule. Now, whether or not you think Josh Hines Allen is a better football player than Trayvon Walker, or Trayvon Walker is a better football player than Trayvon Walker, okay, it doesn't matter, okay? It doesn't at all.
He signed 5 years, $141 million, 88 guaranteed.
If you could sign Trayvon Walker to that exact deal, I would do that in a heartbeat.
It feels like a steal.
If I was James Gladstone. You're never going to be able to get him for that. That's the league. I mean, these contracts are moving forward. And, the reason why I'm saying this is I don't think everyone's on board. I just totally endorsed Maason Smith. I don't believe that our listeners, that it's anywhere near 80, 85% or so where you're like, yeah, get it done. Isn't there a little bit of concern for you and Jaguar fans? I mean, isn't the timing right now somewhat ideal that you don't have to make a decision? Play another year out. I hate to say it this way, and people get pissed at me, but it's true. When's the last time the Jaguars re-signed one of their players to a big deal and they have matched the contract? Okay? Trevor's not part of the equation. His contract doesn't kick in until next year. Tyson Campbell? No. Hell no. Cam Robinson, franchise tags, redeal deal? No. Okay? They've re-signed so many. Christian Kirk, another deal? No. Josh Hines Allen, better than the numbers. right? And we have all of the ways to, kind of protect that by saying that there was no interior pass rush. There was, nothing. It was, he was getting chipped. He was getting double teamed. And Josh Hines Allen is still a very good football player. But, has he lived up to that contract? It's very difficult in this league. That's why it's the adage of great football teams. It begins with the quarterback. And then it's your players. How many of your players can you re-sign? The most successful, if you go back to the year 2000 and you were to really monitor the most consistent teams who went to the playoffs, all right? New England comes to mind. Pittsburgh comes to mind. Seattle comes to mind. I know that the way the brain works, you're thinking more of the last 5 years. I'm thinking about the last 20-some-odd years. How many players those organizations lose because they couldn't afford to re-sign them? They just had to say, that's it. Try to trade. Belichick was, infamous for trading guys and getting picks because he knew he couldn't afford them. That becomes a pleasant problem. If Jacksonville can ever be in a situation around here where they have too many of their own players and they don't know if they're going to be able to re-sign them, you can't ask for anything better. I mean, just imagine a couple of years from now, you got to redo Brian Thomas. Okay, he's one of the best receivers in the league. Brenton Strange totally takes off. He becomes a top 10 tight end. Travis Hunter, you got to decide whether or not you want to repay him. Caleb Ranshaw ends up becoming a great safety. Jarian Jones ends up becoming one of the better members of the secondary. Maason Smith is growing by leaps. You see where I'm at? Now, unfortunately, not all those players are going to get there. But that's best case. Players that you have, you signed, you developed, and you want to be able to keep here. It's not going to work with Devin Lloyd. Doesn't feel like it, does it? Not going to work with Travis Etienne. Doesn't feel like it, does it? Well, Maason Smith, to me, is interesting. My guess is he's absolutely re-signed. I mean, to me, there's no doubt. But what is the asking price? And what is the risk at doing it now compared to, waiting on down the road? That'll be very, very, very interesting to see what does take place with that. All right, when we come back, we got much more to get into. Hear about Rich Hill, the 45-year-old Rich Hill, pitching tonight for the Kansas City Royals. This is his 14th team. 14 in his career. There was only one pitcher who actually threw for 15 teams. If you don't know who that is, well, I'll tell you about it on the other side.
Day by day.
A tremendous return. It's first and goal, Jacksonville.
And play-by-play.
And the Jags are going to win it in Wembley Stadium.
1010XL.
Here's Linda Beaver.
The dog days of summer are here, and so are the hottest deals of the year. Whether you're hauling down the street, cruising on the beach, or just escaping the heat, we have the ride you're looking for and the wow you experience you deserve. Save big on select models with sizzling summer savings, low financing, and limited time bonus cash on all trades. So don't sweat it. Come beat the heat at Beaver Automotive, where the summer deals will wow you.
Florida heat hitting like a heavyweight? Time to call in the champ. KO Electric and HVAC. We knock out the heat and power up your comfort. Fast, reliable, and undefeated in home service. KOElectricJacks.com. KOElectricJacks.com.
Your doctor says your testosterone is normal. Normal for who? Beta males? That's where those lab ranges come from. Male Excel uses optimal levels, where you were at 25, not where outdated mainstream medicine thinks you should be. Our protocol is different, daily dosing, multiple hormones, personalized to your body, not some insurance company's spreadsheet. This is precision medicine, not sick care. Try MaleExcel.com, free test. Stop being normal. Start being optimal.
This is Hayes Carlyon for First Florida Credit Union. I bank with First Florida Credit Union because I trust them. I can always count on them when it comes to the vast services they provide. The online banking services are outstanding. So easy to use. Depositing checks through the mobile app is fast and efficient. I also go to the branch off 210 in St. Johns County and the Durbin location, but they have 10 branches in the Jacksonville area. You need to be banking with First Florida Credit Union. They're enriching people every day. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On July 22nd, 2020, the Orlando Magic take on the LA Clippers in the first 4 scrimmage games at the Walt Disney World campus as part of the NBA season restart.
Right now, you may be running a little late, or feeling stressed, or overwhelmed, and you may be going a bit over the speed limit. So to help you relax, exhale. Ease up on the gas. You'll get there when you get there. Take a moment to just chill. This little break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
Tired of high energy bills? Well, replace those inefficient windows and patio doors now. Don't miss Renewal by Anderson's summer sale. Buy 4 windows or doors and get the 5th one free. No money down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months, but this offer expires July 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
San Jose Collision in Mandarin is proud to be an I-CAR Gold Class collision repair facility. That means they meet the industry's highest training standards. Experience the difference at San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
No matter what the reason, sending a floral arrangement from Kuhn Flowers always works. For unique and special gifts, visit their showroom on Beach Boulevard. ET here with Tintin XL. Kuhn Flowers is my go-to, and it should be yours too. Online at kuhnflowers.com.
Celebrate National Carpet Cleaning Month with Zero Res. Hicken here. Check this out. $45 per room of carpet clean. Take 20% off your air duct services. Book online at ZeroResJacksonville.com and take advantage of the savings.
Zero Res.
Need or want cash? Beach's Jewelry and Pawn has cash available. Ready to buy guitars, surfboards, jewelry, firearms, tools, and especially gold. They need it all, selling or pawning. Get cash on the spot at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys locksmith service.
Are you living with diabetic neuropathy? That pain and numbness in your hands or feet? What about chronic knee or shoulder pain? Maybe you've tried various treatments, but they've been ineffective. Now there's a solution. Dr. Ferdinand Formoso specializes in advanced pain management and offers breakthrough neuromodulation treatments for those conditions. His innovative treatments target the source of your pain, offering relief where medications may fall short. All procedures are performed outpatient with no hospitalization required. Just a chance for you to feel and live better. If you want to learn more, Dr. Formoso is hosting free informational classes where he'll explain the benefits of neuromodulation therapies and how they can help eliminate your pain. Spaces are limited, so call to reserve your spot now with offices on the South Side, West Side, and Jacksonville Beach. Relief is possible with Formoso Spine and Joint Pain Specialists.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
What about an old school Black Sabbath? Ozzy Osbourne, the front man for Black Sabbath, reunited with them a few weeks ago. The farewell show generated over $190 million for charity. It was out at Villa Park in Birmingham, England. Several different charities, including the cure of Parkinson's, which unfortunately the late Ozzy Osbourne had. Several children's hospitals as well. So well done. $190 million. Wish we had more of that. Free shows, or even if you charge, but heading straight to charity. Rich Hill, 45 years of age, getting the start tonight for Kansas City. This is fascinating to me, okay? He's 45. Bobby Witt was 5, okay, when Rich Hill first made his major league debut back in 2005. Bobby Witt Jr. was 5. The former Gator, Jack Caglione, 2 was his age when Rich Hill made his major league debut. So, and he's also now going to pitch for his 14th team, which I had to assume that was the Major League Baseball record, right? Wrong. And I'm not even going to ask you who it is because I feel totally confident that no one out there would get it.
I could give you one guess.
Give it to me.
Bartolo Colon?
It is not Bart Colon.
I will not know who it is then.
It is not Bart Colon. It is Edwin Jackson. I never would have come up with that. I might have tried Lee Smith. You look at Ricky Henderson, the end of his career, or, a Gaylord Perry or something like that, but I never would have come up with Edwin Jackson. And here's what's really interesting with Edwin Jackson. Another statistic that'll just blow you away. In 2010 in Arizona, Edwin Jackson threw a 149-pitch, 8-walk no-hitter.
That's insane. That would never happen today. Probably not.
The guy threw he threw a walking inning and threw a no-hitter. I mean, that is spectacular. Charles Wally on the YouTube. Ballou, I thought we were here to talk about football. Others saying R.I.P. to the legend, Ozzy Osbourne. Marcus Matrix, a.k.a. Fatso, the Big Baby Drip, has chimed in, and we're still waiting on your latest. We want to play it here on Into the Night. He's asking questions about Maason Smith. Again, this a little bit ago. I'm sure he just heard me moments ago talk about Maason Smith. He also does offer up his condolences to Ozzy Osbourne. I am unable to respond to you on YouTube. I try to respond to as many as I can, particularly on the text line, but I don't have the technology to do that on YouTube. Flarian Flares says, Ballou, I'm taking Walker over Hutchinson any day and twice on Sunday because most likely Hutchinson will be hurt. Okay. Interesting stuff there. 8143, Ballou, I for the life of me, I don't see the reason for all the optimism. Believe me, I hope I'm wrong for camp. I want to hear Devon Hamilton is getting done, or hear his name, nothing against it. Interesting you mentioned Devon Hamilton. To me, Devon Hamilton always has a really good camp at the Miller Electric Center. 2 years ago, I thought he was the best defensive lineman before the back injury. I remember him taking Luke Fortner and basically tossing him indoors, the indoor facility at the Miller Electric Center. It goes on a year to hear how great he looks, yada, yada, yada. I don't buy the young line as all that improves. You know what? I don't expect every Jaguar fan to be all optimistic, glass half full. I gotcha. I mean, this team was 4-13. This team has lost 19 of its last 26. Yes, I got it. I absolutely do. But, it just feels to me that the arrow is pointing forward, no doubt about it. Ballou, 102 days until Georgia makes it 5 in a row and 8 of 9 in the Georgia-Florida football series. Interesting. All right. I'll be here for it. I know you will as well. 33-73. Ballou, is there another defensive tackle the Jags can get if Maason Smith can't go? It's the one position, 33-73, that I was surprised they did not address. And as a matter of fact, Dylan, I mentioned that last night, if you remember. I thought that they would have done a little bit more to bring in a veteran on the edge. I like what they did by bringing in edge guys, Smoot and Ogba. But all of a sudden, you got to wonder, depending on what is going on with Maason Smith, you got to wonder whether or not they'll go out, test the waters, and bring in another DT.
Yeah, and, I think that was probably the most surprising thing to go back from right after they hired James Gladstone and when they got into free agency. They didn't really go after D-tackle. And if you would have taken a poll survey of the fans of what they wanted to address, I think D-tackle would have been up there.
Yeah.
And I guess they feel fine for what they got. So, I mean, it kind of goes against what most fans think. So that'll be interesting to see. D tackle is is not something that's like receiver. If you look at, there's still a couple of receivers out there in free agency right now that you could pick. They're probably going to make an impact on the team. That's probably not going to be, the case with a lot of big guys.
Maason Smith placed on the PUP. Recently the Jaguars put Dennis Gardeck on the PUP. That was kind of expected. He was injured at Arizona. Of course, he's an edge or an outside linebacker. Gardeck, not part of the interior. So, there's a tremendous opportunity here for guys like Jordan Jefferson, for guys like Tyler Lacey. I know practically nothing about youngsters James Carpenter, Kiwi Rose, Eli Mostert. I just don't know anything about them, okay? And they're, that's your backup. That's your depth. I absolutely expect at some point for them to make an addition. And, could there possibly be a trade down the line? I don't know. For, a guy who maybe in the final year of his contract. I'm not going to say they all of a sudden wake up and trade Travis Etienne for, an aging defensive tackle in the final year of his contract. I would not make that move at this place. But I have to believe that has been a big-time conversation that the Jaguars have had. 49-54 Ballou, nobody should have the feeling that the Jaguars are going to win the AFC South. Why? Why can't you think that right now? This league every year has surprises. Every year a bottom feeder turns around and wins the division in the NFL. It's absurd. It's like 23 out of the last 25 years. And Jacksonville didn't finish last. But that happens. That's the way the league is designed. That's why you have a salary cap. No team is supposed to be really, really, really good for a long period of time. No organization is supposed to be really, really bad for a very long time. I disagree with that 49-54. I'm not saying I'd bet on it, but this is a dysfunctional division. There's problems in Houston. They've won consecutive divisions at 10-7. They just peddled away their best offensive lineman in Laramie Tunsil. I don't know. Is Stroud going to take off again the way he did as a rookie, or is this the Stroud that we're going to get? Is he going to settle in? Indianapolis is a mess. Is it going to be Daniel Jones, who right now is a believer in Anthony Richardson? And then you get to Tennessee. Yesterday, it was announced that Will Levis is going to have surgery. So it's Cam Ward day one. And maybe it works out for Cam Ward. Maybe all of a sudden he turns into, I don't know, a great young quarterback, like we saw with Stroud in his first year. Or maybe he just doesn't accomplish anything, kind of like what we've seen with Richardson. It's a fascinating division. I think they got a real chance to win it at 9-8. 71-73, fat Maason Smith, he says. Yeah? He's the one guy, as I pointed out, with all this weight loss defensively, that wasn't Maason Smith. Okay? So I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I'd be surprised if this was a PUP deal, disciplinary reason that he didn't show up in camp the way that he was supposed to, that his weight was way over. I don't know. I'm going to do my darndest to find out. But I don't know. And, it's interesting because if you were to weigh the two, let's just hypothetically speak on this. If you were to weigh the two, in most cases, you would take a guy who ate bad, showed up overweight, is not in shape, compared to a guy who has an injury. You look long-term for a guy like Maason Smith, whose reputation is didn't take care of himself, didn't eat well. If he showed up that way, is that more damaging as far as what this new brass is going to think about him as a professional not taking care of himself? Your body is your machine. Your body is your livelihood. You better take care of it. And you've been away now for, a month or 5 weeks, whatever it was. In most cases, you would say that in a heartbeat over an injury. You don't want to see anyone get injured. But in this case, don't you kind of hope that it's like just a minor injury? It's something very insignificant, and they're like, let's just give him, a little bit of time to practice off to the side, to rehabilitate off to the side, and, he's healthy in a week or he's healthy in 10 days. Wouldn't that be a better case than all of a sudden getting out, Maason Smith put on too much weight. He showed up just not looking the part. I think in this case, I'd rather have the former than the latter, but you just don't know. $32.99, Blue. I've already thrown this out a couple of months ago. What if we could get Hendrickson for 2 years, $50 million, and since he gets Trayvon 2 years for no drop picks? It's an interesting question. Trey Hendrickson's a really good football player, but again, I'm told that this organization absolutely loves Trayvon Walker. If you were to rank guys 1 through 90, okay, not only is Trayvon in your top 5, Trayvon may be, I can see him going number 4, okay? And it totally ill-advised, just guessing. And this is a stupid situation anyway, because you don't have to do this, right? No one does this. These guys are all signed. But if you go with the best player right now on this football team, it's Brian Thomas Jr. Far and away. Who's the second best player on this football team? Who is it, Dylan?
You say Thomas Jr., I'd go...
Travis Hunter, who's never played a game?
Yeah, you can't go there. I'd go Josh Hines Allen just because he's put up the 17 and a half sacks.
That's fair. That's fair. You don't go too far down that list until you get to Trayvon Walker.
No, I'd say he's third.
It's tough to compare an edge to a quarterback, right? It's tough to compare an edge to a right. But and again, that's somewhat stupid because it's not like organizations have to do anything like that. But, you see it with teams that you cover. You see it in college as well, where they, when you get towards camp, they start taking you through, 50-1 or 40-1, who's the most important player on the team, who's the best player on the team, whatever it is. If you were to do that here, Trayvon Walker's in your top 5. Trayvon Walker may be in your top 3. Honestly. So, the proposal, I just don't see it. I don't think this organization is thinking about moving him. The timing, and I'm sure, the conversations have been had. That has been out there. That has been spoken on by this new regime, that the conversations have taken place. I don't think there's any danger of Trayvon Walker pulling a Trey Hendrickson. I don't think there's any danger of Trayvon Walker not showing up for camp because of a contract. I just don't believe that he's wired that way. Now, I don't know him that well, okay? I know him as a member of the media, and he's obviously aware that we are there. Things are different when we're not, as they obviously are for everyone. But my guess is with his personality, that's not going to be the case. We'll see what ends up happening, though. The Jags are going to have to decide at some point. Not now. They don't have to decide, but they're going to have to in the near future. All right, let's put our final touches on this one. On this Tuesday night, it's a great feeling. I just got I did text Derek Trucks today. We were talking yesterday because he and his wife Susan Tedeschi are just pulling up enormous fish out of Key West. And I asked him, I said, did you ever get a chance to meet Ozzy? And he said, no, I didn't, but his wife did. Susan Tedeschi did meet with, he said he's going to send me a pic here, so if I get it, I'll put it up. But anyway, pretty cool. He's met most of the great rockers, historically speaking. I was just wondering if he had that opportunity to get with Ozzy Osbourne, who has died today at the age of 76.
Our coordinates here are 10, 10.
XL.
Ballou here for Smunez Vision. Why Smunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smunez is fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmunezVision.com today. Here you can see.
Home is where your story begins. And at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to make it the healthiest, most comfortable place it could be. Whether it's fresh, clean air, dependable plumbing, or reliable power, we take care of it all. From routine maintenance to state-of-the-art solutions, Donovan keeps your home running smoothly. Because at Donovan, we believe your home isn't just where you live, it's where your health meets comfort. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing at 904-270-COOL or visit us online. Let's make your home healthier, safer, and better together.
Firehouse Subs has fries. Your hometown hero since '94 just cranked up the heat. Hot subs, crispy fries, golden, pillowy on the inside, and perfectly seasoned. Over 30 Jacksonville locations. Firehouse Subs, homegrown and now with fries.
Tailgaters parking season passes are on sale now. Secure your Jaguar season parking today. Enjoy indoor restrooms, a full-service bar and grill, access 4 hours before kickoff. Visit tailgatersparking.com and book your space today.
XL Prime Time is back where they belong.
Wait a minute, I know where that is.
Lunch is on Joe C., Matt Hayes, and Leon.
You could lay a little barbecue on us.
From the big #1 Duval Ford Studios.
But somebody else is going to have to cook it.
Noon to 2 weekdays on 1010XL.
Upgrade your learning experience during Dell Technologies Back to School event with AI PCs like the Dell 14 Plus featuring an Intel Core Ultra processor starting at $749.99. Supercharge your studies with features like real-time notes transcription, AI accelerated hardware to run multiple apps without slowing down, extended battery life, and more. That's the power of new AI PCs with Intel inside. Discover a smarter way to learn at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
1010XL is excited to support an evening of all-star fun as comedian David Spade joins MC and Gator basketball great Patrick Young to induct Olympic swimmers Nancy Hogshead and Ryan Murphy, golf legend Jim Furyk, and the iconic Lizard King into the Sawyer Sports Foundation's Jacksonville Sports Hall of Fame, presented by the Nimnick family of dealerships. Saturday, July 26th at the Community First Igloo. For single ticket and table sponsorship, go to JacksonvilleIceman.com.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist is now offering ortho walk-in appointments. If you have an immediate need for orthopedic care, contact Southeast Orthopedic Specialist immediately. Avoid ERs and urgent care waiting rooms. For more information, go to se-ortho.com.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Life is just so busy this time of year. Between work, the kids' games, family vacations, I need a yard hero to free up my weekends.
You mean somebody who does mowing and trimming?
Yeah.
How about mosquito control?
Yeah.
What about irrigation and pet waste removal?
You do that too? You're my lawn hero.
Find your lawn hero at heroeslawncare.com. Heroes Lawn Care, because every lawn needs a hero.
I used to dread going to the dentist. Every visit felt like a sales pitch with constant upselling, surprise fees on my bill, and I could never get in when I needed to. But Harbor Dental Care? Totally different. They saw me the next day, gave me honest pricing up front, and even set me up with a payment plan I could actually afford. No pressure, no surprise charges, just kind people who get it. If you want to experience dentistry the way it should be, book your appointment today at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. As temperatures warm up around us, ants come out in droves. And when they move into your home or business, it's unnerving. Terminix knows that ants add up fast. But Terminix subtracts them faster because living with ants isn't any fun. When ants show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with an ant problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville. In the summertime, it really can stretch out most of the year because we love the warm temperatures here in the Sunshine State. Greg, give them an idea of what Honda has to offer.
They are all over the board. They've got Honda scooters, Honda motorcycles, we've got Honda boats, we've got Honda side-by-sides. So whatever you like, we've got it.
That means adventure is waiting.
That's right, and we're ready for you.
In the showroom, you can find all that Honda has to offer on Atlantic near Regency, or check out Cycles of Jacksonville's Facebook page.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
Got a big story today. Maason Smith placed on the PUP list, physically unable to perform, so he will not be practicing with the team tomorrow as training camp gets underway. Day one, Millard Electric Center tomorrow morning, and it's going to be a whole heck of a lot of fun. Watching these guys work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Sunday. And then they're back at it next week. I'll have a player interview after every practice and, be involved with everything else when they hit the podium, whether it's Liam Cohen, Trevor Lawrence, whether it's Grant Udinski or Anthony Campanelli. I mean, it's here. I mean, this is what you wanted. It's here. And just keep it right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. We're going to keep you updated morning, afternoon, and certainly into the night. And that includes Hacker After Dark, who will be joining me here in just a couple of minutes. But football underway. Also, the Atlantic Coast Conference meetings underway today in Charlotte, North Carolina. Carson Beck said he's 100%. Of course, the Georgia quarterback is transferred to the U. He had surgery on his right elbow during the offseason, but he said today two things. Number one, he's 100%. Number two, Georgia wanted to keep him, but he elected to move on over to the U. I wonder if anyone asked him about one of the Cavender twins today.
Probably not.
I mean, I've seen crazier things. I remember, what's his name? Travis.
Clay Travis.
Yes.
Asked Steve about his virginity.
I was right there when that happened.
Wow.
And at that point, he wasn't much of anything. I think he was just doing, local. I shouldn't say that. He was doing local radio in Nashville, but obviously he's huge now. He's got his own show him and Buck.
Yeah, he's filling it for Rush Limbaugh now.
Yeah, and
that time slot.
Still involved with football and what have you. Here's in my final minute. Do you remember the name Buff Bagwell?
No.
He was a wrestler.
Okay.
He wasn't any good as far as his skills. He had a body that I think fans enjoyed.
What era was this?
Late 90s, maybe into the 2000s. He was a part of the New World Order, but I think he was part of the New World Order Wolf Pack. Again, this is all a blur to me when we get to wrestling, but he had a certain appeal, and he got injured or just wasn't re-signed and left the wrestling game. But he is now having his leg amputated. He became a gigolo in Las Vegas. And I used to watch this show that I think was called Gigolos. It was like on Showtime. I didn't watch it routinely. I caught a couple of episodes. It was so pathetic, it was humorous. That's probably the best way to describe it to you. And Buff Bagwell, after a career that ended in the squared circle, took it to the bed. So there you go, Buff Bagwell. Now he's going to be missing a major limb as he's had a leg amputated. It'd be interesting to see what his next career is. But I know Hacker Nation will be a big fan, or probably didn't know about this story, but obviously does remember Buff Bagwell. He used to come up with that top hat, and he used to have this certain flair about him, and he kind of did like a Playboy Buddy Rose where he would point all the way up and down with his with his the difference between Buddy Rose and Buff Bagwell is Buddy Rose, you'd have to go through about 100 pounds worth of fat in order to see his six-pack. Not Buff Bagwell. That man had it.
Now, the 2-minute drill on 1010XL.
You remember Buff Bagwell?
He's buff, he's the stuff, and the ladies can't get enough.
Oh, he was great.
Of course.
He was great with the mic. He was just a bad wrestler.
There was a time way back in the day when the radio station first started that I did a Ringside Live wrestling show, and Buff Bagwell was actually one of the guests that I had on that program.
He had his leg amputated.
I know. I saw that. Yeah. It was sad. And you know, it's interesting, and I've told you about this, that Dark Side of the Ring that they've done, all those series on A&E, he was the focus of one of them a year or two ago. He lived a fascinating life after he got out of the wrestling scene.
Especially in Vegas.
Yes. Just really interesting relationship with his mother and just an interesting life. And I hated to see that, but... you know, you make choices, and sooner or later, you got to kind of pay the consequences.
Yeah, I enjoyed Buff Bagwell. I enjoyed his personality. I enjoyed his character much more than I did his actual work inside the squared circle. But unfortunately for him, he's recently gone through that. All right, Maason Smith placed on the PUP earlier today. Major surprise to me.
Yeah, surprise to me too. Now, again, he can come off of that at any time. It's July 22nd. Talk to me on August 22nd. If he's still there on August 22nd, I think it's a story at that point. It's a story now, but we're 47 days away from Carolina. If he's on there, 4 weeks from now, then yeah, there will be some major questions as to what's going on. Because of all the things the Jaguars did with this roster, Gladstone and Cohen did in this roster makeover, the one thing they did not do was the interior defensive line.
No doubt.
Maason Smith, Jordan Jefferson, Eric Armstead, Devon Hamilton, Tyler Lacey. Those are your 5 guys on the interior D-line. And when one of them starts on the PUP list, it was certainly attention-grabbing. But again, 47 days away, I'm not getting too panicky yet.
Sounds like they'll be checking the waiver wire or trying to find a veteran somewhere and give him some snaps.
Perhaps, yeah. Or maybe a young guy. Again, I was always under the impression during OTAs that the 5 guys I just mentioned were the 5 guys. There was really no battle for an interior defensive line spot. Maybe there might be a battle for an interior defensive line spot depending on what goes on in the future with Maason Smith.
All right, what do you got going on tonight?
Yeah, obviously it's training camp eve, so we're going to have Cecil Shorts on, former Jaguar wide receiver. I have him weekly during the season. He comes on more periodically as we get closer to the season. So Cecil will join me tonight. Also Mike DeRocco, DRock, ESPN.com. As we are, 12 hours away from the beginning of training camp.
Oh, man, it's going to be early.
It is going to be early. Now, are you coming for the media breakfast at 7:30 in the morning?
No shot. No chance at all.
I'm just curious what they're going to have out there for us for a 7:30 feed. So from that standpoint, I might go to see what's on the menu.
For starters, I can afford to miss a meal. The second part of it, the most important part of it, is I'd have to get up that much earlier in order to get out there. But I will be there, and I look forward to it. Have a great show.
Yeah, I'll see you out there tomorrow, Rick.
That is it, folks. The next time we talk, the Jaguars will have practice. How cool is that? July 23rd, a Wednesday. We'll be here from 6 till 8. Player interview. I'm trying to remember who I have tomorrow. Not Eric Armstead, not Devin Lloyd. Anyway, I'll sort it out, and I have it written in, in my office. Anyway, it's going to take place. Thank you to Damon Jones, Big Sofa, for joining us today. Joe Cowart as well, live from the Atlantic Coast Conference meetings in Charlotte. Dylan Denmark produced it. My name is Rick Ballou. Rest in peace, Ozzy Osbourne. We'll talk tomorrow at 6.